my judgment to speak about, how he is going to address the causes or eliminate the causes of that anger. He will explain why he has decided to send the police into the streets. He is going, I think, to take some major political steps. Otherwise, the anger is going to accumulate. So his first job now is to make sure that the anger will be reduced, not only by sending the army, but also by taking major actual political steps.
Ibrahim, thank you. Just for the moment, we have been talking to Ravi Rage, our correspondent in Alexandria throughout the day, and she's been painting a great picture for us. But right now we've got the first pictures through, and we've got Ravia on the phone to talk us through what's happened throughout the day. Ravia.
Kamal, it's very intense here in Alexandria. The situation kept worsening by the moment. These iconic images you're seeing now of the riot police vehicle being set on fire in Cairo, as Ayman, my colleague, had described it as iconic. Well, this is exactly what we've been seeing here in Alexandria, happening for the past 3 hours, except in multiple places. We've seen at least 7 of those cars being set on fire. I don't know if you can see the pictures we managed to speak to you earlier. Those included pictures of protesters tearing down posters of Gamal Mubarak, the son of President Hosni Mubarak, who the opposition said was being groomed to succeed his father. Can you stand by with me, Kamal? Can you hear these chants?
What are they saying, Ravia?
They're saying batil, illegitimate. Clearly, people are marching through the streets as we're speaking in clear defiance to the curfew. Now, by contrast, we were seeing heart-wrenching images about clearly people realizing that there's been a curfew, jumping onto any pickup trucks. We're seeing people literally bodies dangling from pickup trucks as people are trying to rush home before the curfew. Public transport vans, people pushing and shoving, trying to get onto these vans to get home before the curfew. That's on the main highway, but here in the back street, we're seeing people marching in clear defiance to that curfew, Kamal.
That's Ravia Rage on the line from Alexandria, talking to the first pictures that we are seeing from that city. This is Cairo. This is a police personnel carrier set alight on a bridge over the Nile. Protesters were trying to push it into the river in what's Ayman Mohideen, who hopefully can hear me just at the moment. Now, we've described before, if it happens, it would be quite an iconic moment in a day full of them.
It is. I mean, what you're seeing there really is unprecedented images in every sense of the word, because a few reasons. One, the power of the people here really just overwhelming Egypt's security forces. Egypt's security forces, if I break it down for you, consists of a variety of layers. One, you have the state security. You also have central security. But the most common form of police, or at least the kind of law and order that Egyptians have grown accustomed to, has been plainclothes police officers, informants, thugs. And these are the ones that for years have really instilled within Egyptians a sense of fear. It doesn't take much for Egyptians to feel a sense of fear and paranoia on the streets. Everyone is always paranoid about the possibility that there is an informant, or there is some kind of, as they call them, thugs on the street that rats them out, so to speak. And so what you're seeing is really unprecedented, because all of those Egyptian layers of security that for years have helped preserve law and order in the eyes of the regime on the streets of Cairo have, at least in this particular point, on this particular evening, collapsed in the heart of Cairo. Right now, what you're seeing, there is no indication from where we are standing, from the people we're speaking to, that police has the situation under control. We've stopped seeing the tear gas canisters being fired. We've stopped seeing the stun guns being fired. And from our vantage point, which overlooks this major intersection, we have seen the riot police falling back. Now, that could be due to several reasons. As we were reporting a short while ago, the Egyptian president has ordered the military deployed on the street, so it could continue to escalate in the coming hour once the police is pulled back and the military arrives and comes into direct confrontation with these people. Okay, I mean, can I jump in, because I've got Jamal Affair on the line from Suez, and the lines haven't been great, so I want to go with him while we've got him. Military vehicles, Jamal, apparently moving into Suez now as well. Talk us through it.
In fact, Kamal, 5 tanks, army tanks, have just rolled past me in the past 20 minutes, headed towards the center of the city. Now, earlier, as night fell, the protesters in their thousands had literally taken over the center of the city, had set ablaze 2 police stations and dozens of armored vehicles belonging to the state security. So it seems that they've gone, the army at least is taking full forces, not taking any chances like the state security tried to take in the past 24 hours. 5 tanks followed by personnel carriers have rolled in through the city towards the center of town, Kamal.
It is quite extraordinary, isn't it, Jamal? You've seen it unfold over the day. You saw it at the start of the day when more troops were brought in. Did they ever look like they might have control over the situation?
Not at all, Kamal. I mean, we've all been saying, our correspondents, people we speak to, that the scenes that have unfolded are unprecedented, and if no one expected to see what they saw maybe a week ago, if you had asked, no one would have expected it. Well, this morning we didn't expect to see what we saw either. I mean, what started off as peaceful march towards the center of town turned into a full-blown fight between thousands of protesters and hundreds of riot police who were literally overcoming in a matter of minutes. That then turned into police buildings being set ablaze, the continuous chants of down, down with Mubarak and chants against his son Gamal Mubarak, and also significant to mention chants against the Interior Minister. And as it became evident that the state security and other police belonging to the Interior Ministry were unable to contain the protests, despite one of them being killed, the military has now been brought in. So we've seen the tanks come in, and also it's important to point out here that we've spent the past several hours trying to send you pictures of what we filmed, but there's a total blackout on all technology here. So the only thing that really is working, and it barely is the satellite phone that we are using right now.
The latest from Suez with Jamal Al-Shale, who's been covering events for us so well all day. Thank you, Jamal. These pictures we've been looking at from earlier in Suez. Live to Cairo now, though. It's interesting, when the shot is that wide, it actually looks relatively calm. A few cars moving along the bridges. It is anything but calm. It has been anything but calm the entire day. Reports that the tear gas, the firing of tear gas by police has resumed, and that protesters are regrouping again and heading towards Tahrir Square, which was closed a little bit earlier. You see pretty much center of your shot now a bit of a glow. That's a fire, a police car, armored personnel carrier, lit on fire by the protesters. They were trying to push it over the bridge into the river at one point.